Yo, what's up? Kavi here from Ray Studios, coming to you with another video, this time the Qoocam 3. Okay guys, so let me spare you the unboxing. Besides the camera, we also have a charging cable, a carrying bag, very nice made of neoprene, and with a zipper, the selfie stick, and a bicycle mount. Now that's probably a gift they sent to me because I'm a YouTuber influencer, but I'm not sure if you're gonna get the same, so let's just move on and focus on what's really important, the Qoocam 3. So this is a very special camera. In case you don't know, I just quickly go over the basics of a 360 camera. So this is a camera that doesn't just shoot whatever is in front of you or whatever it is that you're pointing the lens. That's because it has two lenses and it's literally recording absolutely everything all around it, and then you can either choose to watch that video in VR, like with some goggles or using your phone gyroscope to move around and look around, or you can actually export the video as a flat 2D video, so as a basic normal video, by choosing the part that you want the camera to be framing the video afterwards, after you shoot the video. But the real reason you are watching this video, well, that is because you probably heard that this camera is better than Insta360 One X 360 cameras. And let's jump right into it. Is it? Well, yes and no. Let me explain. So when it comes to the quality of the footage, as you can see, this camera can produce vibrant, sharp images. I'm not into photography, so I'm not even gonna test this camera for photography. There are probably some other channels that they specialize in photography and 3D tours and stuff like that. I'm more into the action part of these cameras, and that's what I do. I ride electric skateboards, I go sailing, I ride e-bikes. I kind of like to have fun, and that's when I grab one of these 360 cameras. So this is where you're probably gonna watch on this video, action. This camera has a sensor that is bigger than most consumer cameras and paired with one of the fastest lenses in the market right now when it comes to 360 cameras. So it is normal that it produces high definition video. Even so the resolution is up there with most other consumer 360 cameras, in my eye it does look a lot sharper, vibrant, with better colors and dynamic range. So if we are gonna compare the footage coming out of this camera with something with the Insta360 One X2, sorry I don't have the One X3, but yeah, I would say it's way better. Images are just so much sharper and allow you to kind of punch in a little bit more than with, for example, the Insta360 One X2, that is the other camera that I have that is also 360. And that's basically because all the hardware that I just mentioned that is just so good. When it comes to the design of the camera, it is very solidly put together. It has a nice little screen. We do have a battery port here that is light up, and this battery port, keep in mind, that is also waterproof. So I wouldn't dive deep with this camera, but it's good to know that if it starts raining or you get some splashes while you're filming something, it's gonna be okay. The batteries are easy and quick to replace. You can just remove it right there. And we have the TF card right in the same compartment. Now, there are a couple of things that I like about this design and a few that I don't. Let me show you. When it comes to the design of the camera, I really like it. It feels very solid, very well put together. Now, when we turn it around, we see that these lenses are offset. So we have one lens here, and in the other side, in the opposite side. So that's because the sensor is so big and the lenses are so bright that they didn't have the physical space to put them together, and they have to do that. Now, another thing that this camera have, and you can see it here, they have microphones everywhere. So the audio, if you plan to do videos in VR, or even so you don't plan to do videos in VR, it sounds really good. Now the screen is a little bit awkward. It's kind of like small compared to something like the Insta360 One X3. Like I mentioned before, I don't have that camera. I actually asked Insta360 if they would like me to compare these two cameras, and yeah, they didn't reply to me. So I guess that's a no. I understand why they would say no to that. But here we are. The screen is fine when you adjust in settings, so you can slide from different directions. So for example, here from the top or from the bottom. So it's very good for accessing settings. The thing is that it might not be as good when you want to preview footage. Even so, you don't really want to preview footage on such a small screen, especially 360 footage. But it's good to know that you can access all settings really quick. Another thing that I like about this camera is that you can just simply stand it. Even if you're shooting and you have it on a selfie stick, it's relatively easy to stand it like this with the selfie stick still attached to it, so you don't scratch the lenses. So yeah, design-wise, there are some little things that they have fixed from other cameras. So they didn't fix from their own cameras, but you know, basically they became very competitive by having these things. Now the neoprene bag, and that's how you probably want to be using the camera, it protects the camera pretty well. And one thing that I like is that if you need to charge the camera, you don't want to be exposing these beautiful lenses, right? So you want to have the camera here and open this, and you can see it's still on the back. That's something that you cannot do with, at least with my Insta360 One X2. So you can both charge the camera, replace the battery, and access the TF all from the same port. At the beginning of this video, when I answered the question, is this camera better than Insta360? I say yes and no. What I was referring to is that yes, it does produce better image quality, and in my eye, as a filmmaker, I can really see it. It is a significant difference from my Insta360 One X2. And it is not better than Insta360 in some other regards. For example, software. Even so, the software on this camera is actually pretty decent. It works very well. It's easy and intuitive to edit the videos. It's actually, as a matter of fact, quite similar to the Insta360 app on your smartphone, like let's say iPhone or Android phone. And it also have an studio software that you can use in your laptop, but it's just some little things that is just not as good. So for me, that I just only like to edit the video straight up, still the Insta360 app is better. So for example, on the Insta360, you can edit the videos directly from the camera. So you don't need to download it into your phone, you can just edit. So what the camera does is basically shooting the video plus some proxies, so some very small videos, so you can transfer the video over Wi-Fi, so you've seen it live. It's like it's all happened seamless. Well, with this one you need to download the videos, and well, it's just one extra step. Another thing that I like more on the Insta360 is that you can just press the record button, camera start on, start recording, you finish, push again. So that saves you quite a lot of time. It's kind of faster. Now, all these things I already brought it back to the team of Kandao for them to basically fix it with a firmware upgrade. Everything is fixable here. This camera is very new. This is their first try at being the king of consumer 360 cameras, and they did a pretty good job. For me in particular, that I just want to shoot 360 videos at the highest possible quality, and I don't care so much about these little tutorials or effects or stuff like that. This is the only two things that I already mentioned, basically quick start recording and the ability to edit the videos without having to download them. Other than that, for me it doesn't matter if the other app have more features, because I'm never gonna use them. But for some beginners, well, you might need to consider that as well. By the way, as a YouTuber who often review e-bikes, this e-bike mount comes very highly recommended. I tried it out on my bike and I mounted it in all different places, and yeah, it's pretty good. And that brings me to another part of this video, which is stabilization. Even so, it's pretty damn good. It is a little bit falling short from what Insta360 and DJI and Sonos, these bigger companies that they have been doing it for a really long time. This company is pretty new, and generally speaking, it's actually very good, and I wouldn't complain with it. But I don't know, I guess some people have very shaky hands. Maybe that's not your camera. Like I said, it's still very good. It is your camera, yeah, don't worry. It's actually pretty good. But the main focus point of this camera is image quality. The videos are really good, and this is something that always really annoys me with Insta360 cameras. Whenever you're in low light, and when I say low light, I don't mean at night. I mean just on the shade of a tree. Well, the footage is already pretty bad. It's very blurry, and the ISO comes up. And with this camera, you can actually be at night, and whenever you are in an overcast day, when there isn't too much light available, videos come so good. I was editing this video matching the footage to my iPhone 14 Pro, and both color and sharpness looks very similar. The only one thing that I have to recognize not being as good is that the stitching, sometimes I can really see it. You can see my hand in some of the shots looking really weird. And that's normal with most 360 cameras, but with this one in particular, well, I can see it more easy. I hope they can also fix that with a firmware upgrade or with some software on the app or something like that. But yeah, that would be great because the footage is just so good. Okay guys, if you like this camera, remember there is always a link in the description down below where you're gonna get the best price, and if you buy from my affiliate, you help this channel grow. And if you have liked this review and decided not to buy the camera, you can at least help me somehow by just subscribing to the channel, liking this video. That will actually help a lot. Okay guys, that's it for me today. Adiós amigos.